Welcome back, everybody, to the Rope Break. I am your host, the genius, Jeff Wolf. I am alongside Eric Vanek.
All right, and before we start this, I want to talk about the big breaking news from last night. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, and I was just watching the pay-per-view like everybody else was, but I just couldn't believe it, Jeff.
What happened?
There was no Justin Gabriel as a lumberjack.
Oh, I know.
I was like, what the hell, man?
I know. You even had the lumberjack himself, Damian Sandow, out like a lumberjack.
That was funny.
Yeah. That kind of upset me a little bit. I was like, really? You're going to give all these people a payday? We're going to get into that lumberjack match because I have an absolute mixed reaction of that lumberjack match that might not be the same as everyone else's. I know it's not the same as your opinion.
I wish A-Rai would have came down and did some lumberjacking.
Yeah, A-Rai wasn't there either.
Yeah, he was. Wasn't he on the pre-show?
No, but I'm saying as a lumberjack.
Oh, yeah, he was on the pre-show, though. Yeah, that's why.
You know what, like, with A-Rai, it seems like they're just, like, I thought like a month ago that he wrestled or something. I guess maybe I was wrong, but it seems like maybe he's just basically going to retire or whatever and just be an analyst for them.
Well,
he does a good job.
Yeah, he's a very good talker and everything. He's 10 times better than Prince Albert is, or whatever the hell his name is nowadays.
I forget what his actual name is, because he actually retired like a week ago.
Yeah.
Obviously, that wasn't big enough for one of us to talk about.
Yeah, well, the pre-show, it had Renee Young, Booker T, A-Rai, and their special guest was the Nature Boy.
Woo!
That was a terrible woo.
No, it was not a terrible woo.
That was absolutely awful.
Absolutely not. Okay, we're going to get into this because originally this was just going to be a review show of SummerSlam, but then we started thinking about it, and there's actually been quite a few reports come out in the last like 24 to 48 hours of stuff to talk about. Some stuff because of SummerSlam. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to do a review show real quick, then we're going to get into topics. It's going to be an awesome show this week. Then we're going to give our actual feeling on SummerSlam, and then I guess we're going to wait a little while before we do our next show. So you'll have a full week of Raw and stuff like that for us to talk about next time. But for today, SummerSlam. Let's just get right into the pre-show. Neither one of us watched it. I'm going to be honest with you.
I had it on, but I was doing other things before the pay-per-view, so...
Okay, well, but you weren't watching it, basically.
No, I wasn't watching it.
It was kind of like background music for you.
Pretty much, yeah. It was RVD, Cesaro, RVD won. Why? Nobody will ever know.
RVD beats him.
Yes.
Beats Cesaro.
And Cesaro's like... Cesaro must have, like, slept with Stephanie McMahon or something.
I don't know, because I was watching over the weekend, and Cesaro was on the panel for the roster reveal for WWE 2K15.
I don't know what... They have some big plans for him.
Well, I know they have something. Like, I know that Roman Reigns' spot was supposed to be for him, but they just changed and fast forward for Roman Reigns and is going to do something with Cesaro afterwards. But this isn't doing him any good to not only not be on the main card of SummerSlam, but to lose to Rob Van Dam, who's a shell of himself.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there's not much to talk about. Cesaro lost. Who cares that RVD won? Then SummerSlam opened. We get Hogan coming out, which was kind of confusing at first because he comes out with red and yellow and he's talking about Hollywood Hogan for a second, and then he just talks about the network. I'm gonna be honest. I am really, really sick of $9.99. Like, I am extremely sick. Like, so much so that I can't stand watching WWE right now. It's just so annoying to me.
Yeah, it was basically just a big hype job for the network. There was nothing really else more to it.
No, that's it. That's all it was. I mean, just like his birthday thing.
Like, hey, Hulk, we need you to fly out to open up SummerSlam, brother.
Yeah.
And hype the network some more. Like, why would you hype the network when you're already on the network? That's the only way people are watching unless they bought the 50-hour pay-per-view on another provider.
Which you're an idiot if you did.
Yeah. So it's like, why even waste your time doing it? Why wouldn't you have done that tonight on Raw or something?
Oh, they will. Believe me, I'm sure they will.
Yeah. So, all right, next.
Then we had we opened the show with a great match, I thought. These two have great chemistry. Dolph Ziggler and The Miz for the Intercontinental title. Went back and forth. I was basically, if you listen to our review, our prediction show, just go against what we said, because that's what was happening early on. Because Dolph Ziggler is the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, which was it was definitely a really good match. I loved the ending, like the
counters?
I forgot. Yeah, the counter. Like what he did the. Didn't he do the famouser and Miz bounced up and hit the skull crushing finale?
Yeah, that was a cool thing. Like it was a no sell kind of thing, but it was cool how they did it.
Yeah, and then Dolph ends up hitting the. Oh my god! I just lost his
zigzag.
Yeah, the zigzag for the win. I totally blanked on his finishing move.
Like they kept going back and forth, and then he hits the zigzag. And at first I was like, oh, Miz looks horrible taking it. But then as I looked at the replay, I was like, that's just how he kind of that's how Ziggler kind of does it now. He kind of does it in a lazy way now.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that WWE opened the show with this match, because the crowd was really into it. They were totally behind Dolph. They were getting on Miz.
Yeah, there's you can't wrestle chance again.
Yeah.
Why? Why against Miz? Miz isn't that bad.
Who knows? But I agree with you. Trust me, I agree with you. I don't get it either. But I mean, the crowd was really hyped. They were going. They were super excited. Dolph won.
These two have great chemistry. Like, I love that they have good chemistry. They really do have the ability to have like an actual rivalry for the years to come.
Like, I hope this is just bigger things to come for Dolph from this now.
Hopefully.
Like, I mean, he deserves it. He's been working his tail off. I mean, he's been really good lately with everything. So, I was very shocked that the Miz held the title for 1 month and then dropped it.
Yeah, it seems kind
especially
of like
with how much they've been pushing him. So who knows why or what's the reason?
Who knows? Miz might even get the title back tonight on Raw.
Yeah. But yeah, so it was definitely a good match.
You
know what? Actually, I believe the reason for this, I don't know if he is or not. I forget. But maybe Wade Barrett's coming back soon, and they wanted to do a heel versus face feud. Obviously, it wouldn't work with Miz versus Wade.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when he's coming back. I don't remember exactly the severity of his. I
thought it was like 12 to 16 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a really small little thing. I thought it was a pretty big deal. So I don't know if he's coming back yet, but it was. I mean, like I said, it was a good match. We'll see on Raw where they're going with this. We'll see if the title, if they're going to just keep going back and forth now with the title, switching hands. But then we had AJ versus Paige. I had to watch this match a second time. The first time, I wasn't paying too much attention, and I thought the match sucked. That's why I rewatched the shows, because then I watched it again, and I was like, you know what? This really wasn't bad. I mean, these two actually make women's wrestling fun for WWE.
Yeah, what I liked about it is they actually went to the outside and like did some stuff. Like, when do you ever see the women's matches ever do that? So like,
it reminds me a lot of like what Lita and Trish Stratus used to be able to do. Because you don't look at it as, oh, this is a women's match. You look at it as this is a wrestling match.
Yeah,
That's
and how
important.
Like when Paige dropped AJ right on her face on the guard railing, I'm like, that hurt because like she didn't cover or anything.
Yeah.
So that was it was definitely a very good match. I definitely did not see Paige coming out and winning it. That's for sure.
I mean, it's just like the opening. Like we didn't see AJ just keeping the belt for. I don't even know if it's been a month.
Yeah, it's like WWE listened to our podcast and then decided to change all their,
Yeah, it's like, oh, let's not be predictable for the rope break.
Yeah.
For their 100 listeners.
I wouldn't even doubt that if we don't even have that many.
We sometimes do, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, we're getting up there, my friend.
Oh, great.
But yeah, it was a really good match. I really loved the ending where it went from the what was like the Widow's Peak into kind of like a cradle DDT for Paige to get the win. I loved that. I love that these two also, just like Dolph and Miz, they do have really good chemistry. I mean, honestly, there's not very many good female wrestlers in the company on the main roster right now. So it's good to see that these two can can put on a great, solid 12, 15-minute match where fans can really get behind both women, really, and you're not like, oh, another boring women's match.
Yeah.
So then we had Rusev and Swagger. Oh, and the flag match. Oh, my gosh. When did flag matches turn into you just have your national anthem played? Because if that was a flag match, Rusev has a flag match every week.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing I feel bad sometimes for like the new generation of fans because this isn't a flag match at all. This is a stupid little gimmick that they had no creativity with, and it really irritates me because flag matches. Not that flag matches are that great of a gimmick match in the first place, but it at least means something. And I love this feud. I enjoyed the match. It's just the flag match stipulation just pissed me off in this match.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent match. I thought it could have been better, but it was definitely decent. I liked how Rusev was selling the ankle injury from the ankle lock he was getting.
Yeah, he sold it really well.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. I was waiting for him to have the full accolade on at the end and like just have him sell it that his ankle gives out before Swagger tapped out or before Swagger passed out, but they obviously did it with Swagger passing out, which I actually liked. Obviously, that makes him better than him actually tapping out.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that just makes this feud continue.
I was going to wonder if you thought that it's just going to keep going on now from this.
Yeah, I could see that happening. I don't know what other matches they can do, but I could see it continuing because it's been entertaining. We both liked it. So.
Hey, I have really enjoyed it, and I am not one to get like rah USA all the time, but this feud makes me really love the country following kind of thing. With the whole Russia versus U.S. thing, so it's made me a pretty big Swagger fan. I mean, not just this. The last couple of months, it's like I get more and more of a Swagger fan, and I'm loving him. I'm loving what he's doing.
Yeah.
Then we go from this disappointment of the flag match to, my opinion, a disappointment in a lumberjack match. And actually, it's funny because I'm rewatching that match right now. It's on the background while we're doing this podcast. I thought that this match, it didn't suck. It was good. I just feel the lumberjack stipulation held this match back so much. I know there's a certain kind of part of the match that was kind of cool because they're holding them back, but that's kind of like what the whole buildup of this match should have been, is just being held back until they could just go at it. These two can put on an awesome match, and they did put on a good match, but it's like it wasn't. I felt cheated, kind of, watching this, because I felt like they could have been able to do so much more if this wasn't a stipulation of a lumberjack match.
And with that point, I agree with you. Like I said, I thought it should have been a ladder match for the contract.
It would have been amazing. It probably would have been the best match of the night.
Yeah. But for that, even what you said, I still think this is probably actually, I don't even remember another lumberjack match, so I will say this is the best lumberjack match I've ever seen.
It's definitely the best lumberjack match with the lumberjacks actually getting involved in a way other than just pushing them back to the ring.
That's what I liked it like.
Yeah, I
the lumberjacks were used like I hadn't seen before. Like, Ambrose was just taking them all out. They were carrying Rollins back, and Ambrose just jumps off into the big crowd of everybody. Just the way the lumberjacks were used, like how Rollins tried to run away, and the Usos and Goldust and Cody were, waiting right there for him.
Yeah.
Just the way everything was used. I mean, you can say whatever you want about a lumberjack match. It sucks. I know it sucks, but for it being a lumberjack match, it was definitely one of the best ones I've seen, just because of the way everyone was involved. It was totally different. I wish I would have seen a little more of Ambrose and Rollins actually wrestling.
Yeah, that's what I would have liked.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't expect this feud to end, so we will get that at some point here shortly.
I just wanted it to be a big SummerSlam kind of thing. I mean,
I agree with you. Like,
SummerSlam to me, maybe I'm just overhyping what SummerSlam should be, but to me, SummerSlam should be a mini WrestleMania, like a halfway WrestleMania.
Well, they've lost touch with that for so long.
I know. It's
Survivor Series used to be a huge deal.
Yeah.
Like I would say ever since the WCW WWE merger, like SummerSlam and WCW. SummerSlam and Survivor Series, those big marquee pay-per-views have just went downhill.
Yeah, the Big Four is really no more.
And I still miss the King of the Ring pay-per-views.
Oh yeah, I don't know why they would ever get rid of King of the Ring. Honestly, whoever's idea it was to get King of the Ring, they need to get a little dick slap.
Yeah.
All right, so we both thought the match was solid, but we both think they could have had more. Then we have Bray Wyatt and Y2J. I thought this was a solid match. It was definitely better than the first match. Yeah. You what?
Better than the last one.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think, like, watching it, I'm like, I think that we hype it too much. I think we've been hyping Jericho and Bray, the idea of those two together, just too much. Jericho's older. He's not the same Chris Jericho. He's still very good, and he's still better than a whole heck of a lot of people in that locker room.
Yeah.
But he's not the same Jericho that we know and love. And Bray Wyatt is a bigger dude. He sometimes needs a different kind of person to balance him out in certain ways. I thought this was a good match, though. They could have done a little bit better, I believe. But for what they brought to it, I thought it was a pretty good match. I was okay with it.
Yeah, I echo everything you just said. I don't really have too much more to add.
I don't know if they're going to have another match, though, because I figured that Bray would get the last win.
Yeah, it just depends. Who knows?
Yeah.
I mean, the next pay-per-view is Night of Champions, so they should have championship matches on all the championships.
Yeah.
So.
Well, speaking of that, real quick, why was there no tag title match?
No tag title match. Sheamus wasn't even on the frickin' pay-per-view.
Yeah, no tag title, no U.S. title. That's a little weird.
Sheamus wasn't even wasn't even a lumberjack.
Yeah, I was gonna say he wasn't even there.
Yeah, the Usos were.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, he was he also was on that panel for WWE 2K15. So I don't know if maybe he got a little drunky afterwards or something, and they're like, we're penalizing you. Who knows?
Yeah.
Then we had Steph and Brie Bella. Brie mode. Stephanie's actually not bad. Okay.
Well, I think you like her attire.
We have to get this out of the way completely. Just, I mean, who cares about the match? Stephanie looked amazing. I have to say, Stephanie McMahon looked amazing in that outfit. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, like I think she's gonna be in the next Dark Knight movie as Catwoman.
She rocked it. She really did. Like she looked good. The match itself, Stephanie's not a bad wrestler actually. I mean, she's a better wrestler than her dad tries to be a wrestler.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a women's champion, but it was just because of who she is. But I mean, she wasn't bad. Brie's not bad either. Excuse me. I think Brie has improved a lot over the years. But I mean, it is.
Well, if you're married to Daniel Bryan, I'd hope you'd get better at wrestling.
That's true. Yeah, you'd hope that there'd be some kind of inspiration to get better.
Yeah. So this match happened. It was all right. It was pretty much what I expected. When Triple H came out, I mean, it kind of like saved the match, I think, from being a total disaster. And then Nikki came out.
Oh, let's talk about Nikki. She just stood there.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like we thought months ago that there was going to be a turn. Like we knew that this was going to happen once that happened. At least I did. I was like, okay, well I know what's going on. This looks really dumb.
Yeah, like she there was one point where there was Nikki and Triple H on the outside. I think it was like right when the referee was right there on the outside, kind of like doing the pinfall, and Triple H pulled him out of the ring.
Yeah.
And, like, Nikki was, like, just looking at him for, like, guidance. Like, oh, should we do it now? Or she's like, she had, like, no clue.
Yeah, I know.
And it was just really weird. And then she's, like, just, like, standing there after the match, just, like, looking, like no emotion. Like, I don't know. She did a terrible job of doing it. Like, I guess there's supposed to be a thing tonight where she's going to tell people why she did what she did. Who knows?
Yeah, she took to Twitter.
Yeah, who cares? It's just pointless. So now we're gonna have. I think the biggest thing to come out of this is what the hell are they gonna do for Total Divas now? Like, are these two gonna be like buddy hanging out, and then on camera they're not? Or
yeah, that's a good point. I don't know.
So who knows? But I think Total Divas starts again here in September, so they probably haven't even recorded this yet, or this might be the last episode, maybe.
That could be. Yeah, I know when they were in Columbus for SmackDown, they were filming.
Oh, okay.
And that was a couple months ago. Because my brother's girlfriend loves the show, and she doesn't even watch wrestling, but she loves the show. And she was telling me that they were filming at some kind of nail salon or something while in Columbus.
Okay.
But yeah, I thought that match was what we thought it was going to be. The build-up was better than the match, and it's, like you said, it is what it is. Now this one, I am looking forward to your opinion on this one. This is the moment of truth. Roman Reigns and Randy Orton. Did Roman Reigns pass the test?
I'll say this. I think this was the best match of the night.
Okay.
But Roman's, it was still, there was no actual wrestling involved. There was a little bit, but you know what I mean?
What did you want? Did you want CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan?
No, but I wanted to at least see him actually do some stuff, you know.
He did do stuff.
Oh, I know he did, but I still expected more. But I still think it was...
What do you want from this man? I swear.
You know what? Like I said, if you assholes are going to be all over John Cena for not being able to wrestle, or The Miz for not being able to wrestle for that matter, I'm going to do the same to Roman Reigns. He should be held to the same standard. Just because you guys are all over his cock about it, you know.
Oh, gosh. My opinion...
This was the best match of the night. I loved that superplex off the top rope was frickin' sick. When Orton did it. I loved when Roman went for the spear and Orton did that quick little body slam.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. I didn't see that coming. The Superman punches, just everything. It was a really good done match. I think that just proves everybody's point. I think Roman's going to be, you know, that next big thing. I think that just put him on the map for it. Okay.
Here's my opinion on the match. The match, best match of the night, it definitely could be. Yeah, it probably was. I said that last night to you when I texted you, but that's before I actually was watching the whole show. I had to go back and rewatch the whole stuff. I thought that Roman did a good job. I didn't think he did an amazing job. I thought he did a good job. He didn't knock it out of the park, but he got.
That's what I was basically saying.
Yeah, I know. Well, but you're hard on him. He got a solid double to a triple. He didn't hit a home run. I think he's well on his way of being that top guy, like you said. I think the chemistry between Roman Reigns and Randy Orton is amazing. I think these two really make each other better. Because Randy Orton, to me, is boring. He really is. I mean, I don't hate Randy. I used to hate Randy Orton. I used to hate his guts. And then I had a change of heart. I don't hate his guts anymore. I think he's a pretty good dude. But his matches still bore me a lot of the times. I mean, take Cena. Take your superhero Cena and put him versus Orton, and it sucks. But you put Roman with Orton, and last night they just were able to bounce off each other in great ways, like you said, with going from that spear to the slam, like Orton does. It was very, very fluid, very solid. Just the whole chemistry of the match. It started slow, like we both agree, But then once it started picking up more and more and more, and the match actually started to climax like matches are supposed to. If anyone ever...
it started off really slow, and it just got gradually better and better.
If anyone ever watches RF video shoot interviews, listen to I think the very first one with Raven, and Raven explains it well. Professional wrestling matches are supposed to have that kind of slow pace, and then you climax more and more and more and more, and then you hit your peak. And this match did that. It did all of that. So I think you're right. I think this was the best match of the night. I think Roman did a very solid job. I think Orton did a very solid job too. I think they both did things that complemented each other really well, and I was really excited about this match. But like I said, Roman's not there yet, but he is on his way. And then we have boys and girls, this was a good one. Then we have Brock Lesnar and John Cena. This was probably a 5-star match. Wouldn't you agree? This match was horrible. It was a joke of a match.
I am going to let you say your piece, and then I'll say my piece.
Okay. I had a grin on my face from the very first moment in this match. Brock Lesnar destroyed John Cena. For people that hate John Cena, this is your moment. This is your moment to see John Cena get his butt whooped. And it was awesome. It was amazing. I loved it. This match was horrible. It was one of the worst matches I've seen in a while, because it wasn't a match. There was 16 belly-to-back suplexes to John Cena, for crying out loud. There was how many F5s? Did he get 3 F5s or just 2? I don't know. But Brock Lesnar wins. But it is amazing. I love it. I could watch this match every day for the next month, and I still would love it every single second of it.
Wow. That's all I want to say is wow.
Yeah, I loved it.
Anyways, for this being SummerSlam, the main event, if you knew you were going to book this match this way, why in the fuck is this the main event? Why? I understand it's Brock Lesnar and John Cena, 2 of the biggest stars. That's why it's the main event. But if you were going to book the match this way, there's no reason for this to be the main event. If I went to SummerSlam, even if I'm a Cena fan, and I saw this, I'd be like, what the hell is this? I didn't pay, SummerSlam tickets aren't cheap if you want to sit in a good spot. They're just not cheap. $300, $400 to sit close, maybe even more than that. I'm just guessing. If I'm paying that kind of money to see that main event, that's terrible. If I was those fans, I'd be asking for refunds. But anyways, I was pretty pissed off after watching this last night, not because I'm starting to like John Cena or anything like that. I was pissed because I thought the match was terrible, because it wasn't a match. It was just, here, I'm going to beat the crap out of you. Cena's going to get in 2 moves, and I'm still going to beat the crap out of him and win. But after reading stuff this morning... Well,
wait on that. Wait on that. Because we're going to talk about that. That's going to be one of our main topics today.
Well, no, because this goes on with my match.
Okay, all right.
So, after reading stuff and like Mick Foley, and I read another article that people are really praising this match as saying it was very, very well done. I sort of agree with them on that point, that John Cena pretty much showed how much respect and all that he has for The Undertaker. To go out there and just get his ass beat by Brock Lesnar and let him win the title that way, the way they did, and make Brock just look like this just immovable force. And that's basically what they created last night. Brock he destroyed Big Show at the Royal Rumble. He came to WrestleMania. He beat The Undertaker's undefeated streak, and then he came to SummerSlam and just destroyed John Cena. They are making Brock Lesnar the biggest badass probably since Bill Goldberg's heyday in WCW.
I want to say this real quick. The way this match was booked was absolutely genius. and I don't give WWE credit very often. And I'm not saying this because I thoroughly enjoyed seeing John Cena get his butt whooped. That's not why I'm saying it. I'm saying because of what John Cena represents, the never give up kind of attitude, the always being able to overcome things. I mean, we call him Super Cena because that's kind of what they've billed him as a superhero. And when you have someone like Brock Lesnar to come in and just do what he did to him, to manhandle him in that kind of way, it was absolutely genius booking on them. And I give Cena credit too. Like you said, to be able, like he said, I'm not gonna lay down for you. He did lay down for Brock Lesnar, basically.
Yeah. So Cena deserves a lot of credit.
He does. He really does, because he could have said, "Screw you! I'm not doing this. I'm not being made look like this." But he did. Yes. But because of what John Cena has done throughout his whole career, it means so much through this match.
And when we talk about our topics, there's one I want to start with. So Go ahead.
Well, I mean, this is gonna end our review basically. SummerSlam, I thought, had its ups, had its downs, had its in betweens. Overall, I thought it was a solid show. SummerSlam in the past has sometimes been a crappy show, because it's usually what happens is the really good shows that you think are going to be really good aren't, and the ones that are okay, that you think are going to be okay really are really good. This match was pretty good. Or I mean, the whole show was pretty good. And I enjoyed it. I would give it I wouldn't say a 4. I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah, I'm with you on that pretty much. I was just gonna say C+.
I'd give it a B-.
Some stuff irritated me. Some stuff was like, wow, they really did that, and so that was cool.
My thing is you see the Brock beatdown. You see Roman and Orton have a great match. Bray Y2J have a better match. Ambrose Rollins was middle. A couple middles. I mean, Dolph Miz opened the show great. Paige and AJ had a great women's match. So yeah, I'd say I'd give it a B-. And now we're going to get into our actual topics for the day. So you start off. What did you want to talk about to start us off?
It starts off with the Triple H and Vince McMahon thing.
Okay.
So basically what it is there's a report that came out that Vince and Triple H right now are butting heads over creatively of who is going to be Brock Lesnar's WrestleMania 31 opponent. Now, Triple H wants Roman Reigns, and Vince McMahon wants The Rock. Both are great candidates. I don't agree with it.
See,
I don't agree with either.
I will disagree with you after you make your point.
I think it should be Cena. As cliche as that sounds, it's basically like watching The Dark Knight Rises when Batman gets his ass kicked by Bane, and puts him in his little, that little hellhole or whatever the hell they called it, and Batman fights his way back. This should be the WrestleMania 31 main event: is John Cena being Batman and taking out Bane.
All right, here's my whole thing. As much credit as I just gave them, I'm also going to say they're dumb as hell for doing it. Because what you just created, you can't fix.
Exactly. Who the hell is going to beat him?
You can't. You can only have someone beat him. And I believe we talked about this a little bit ago at the end of the last show, but that was before we actually knew what was going to happen. My thing, first of all, with this actual thing with either The Rock or with Roman Reigns. Reigns isn't ready. Reigns isn't ready at all. I could see The Rock beating him, but not now. I guess WrestleMania 31. Yeah, I could see that. If The Rock is as big as he is in like Fast 6 or something like that.
Well, trust me, there's no way Lesnar loses this title before WrestleMania 31. He is going to be your champion until WrestleMania 31.
That's how it needs to be, because you created the biggest freaking monster in the world of professional wrestling ever.
Yeah, like I said, since Goldberg's heyday.
Rob Feinstein made a comment on Facebook last night where he kind of compared what they did with Brock to kind of what WCW would do with Vader. But Brock is 1,000 times bigger than that right now. I don't think they realize what they actually just did with Brock Lesnar. You have made a man that is literally unbeatable right now, just by what you did to Cena. anyone that if he loses this title 1-1, it is an absolute joke. It's a sham, and it's not believable whatsoever. And that even goes with Cena at this point. I mean, I agree with you. I think that's a great story, and I actually would applaud them for thinking that far in advance and having Cena come back, going into his dark place or something like that, and then coming back out of it like a shining light, and beats him. I'm okay with that to a degree, but I feel the only way you can legitimately have Brock Lesnar lose is not having Brock Lesnar lose. Like, you can only have it happen if you add a stipulation to a match down the road, where if something happens in like a 3 or 4 person match or something like that they lose. Like, if it's a 4-way match and the champion doesn't have to be pinned, then maybe that. But I don't see him losing at all. It's not realistic anymore for what you just did. You just pigeon-toed yourself completely.
I think another good thing too would be to have him pass out and not tap out. So like Cena did his STF, and he just passed out, after being in the hold for so long and never tapped out.
Yeah.
I think that could be a way to do it. But the other funny rumor that came out, I don't even know if it's true, but Hulk Hogan says he wants to be the one that beat Brock Lesnar. Could you imagine a Hogan versus Lesnar match right now?
If that happens, I quit.
Like, seriously, like, if Super Cena can't beat him, why would Super Hogan be able to beat him?
With his third repaired...
I never want to see Hulk Hogan wrestle again. He's talking about having one more match, possibly at WrestleMania 31. I don't want to see it. I just don't. He can't do it.
No.
I want to see Sting. I think Sting's got one good one left in him, but I don't think Hulk Hogan does.
Yeah.
And even if you do, who's Hogan going to face? Unless it going to be Hogan versus Rusev?
Actually, that's funny. So I was thinking about Rusev. Like, what else would they do with like an American person? And like Hogan's the only thing that came to mind. I mean, he was on that panel too for the video game, and that was actually one of the questions. Like, what would you want your very last match to be? And Hogan actually said Cena. So, I mean, that might be something, but yeah, not against Brock Lesnar.
Well, that's a very good possibility, because if they're talking about Roman or The Rock, I mean, at least Cena opened, Cena versus Hogan, but I don't see it because they praise each other so much and so much respect. It's like, how would you even create a rivalry or a spark there to, it would just be two faces like, oh yeah, here you go, I'm going to punch you now. Oh, okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like it would just be all about respect, or unless Hogan would want to be NWO Hogan, Hollywood Hogan for the last time, but he wouldn't. He would want
turn Cena heel.
Oh, Cena pissed me off from that panel too, because he was talking, and we're getting off topic like we always do. He was talking about why like people always want him to turn, or they question why he went from his like hip hop John Cena to the John Cena he is now, and he was saying that like what he is now is who he really is, and what the hip hop version was like a fake person of him. It was just a way for him to get noticed. I thought that was just such a stupid thing. It's like if you're gonna say that, then change your frickin' music, because your music is still that hip hop Cena. So if you don't want people to remember that Cena, change your music. If you're not a rapper, don't have you rapping. All right. Now, okay. Well, we got off topic, but you brought up a good point of this whole thing. They're arguing about this. What else do you think that they argue about? Do you think that they really butt heads a lot, or do you think this is just one thing? I think this is just blown out of proportion. To be honest with you. All right. Because I mean, they both have really big egos. I can see that they both have issues agreeing with each other. I mean, it wouldn't be out of the question. I think they both have their thoughts and stuff, but I don't think it's where they're like mad at each other or don't like each other or can't speak to each other over it. I think it's just a disagreement between two adults. Yeah, I mean, and Triple H is in a weird spot compared to everyone else that would be in his role because of who he's married to and that he is a part of that family. So it's like other people could be mad at Vince and not want to speak to him for a while. Triple H can't really do that. Now, I talked I kind of got off topic again during this about the Brock Lesnar dominance thing. Do you think this is a good idea or a bad idea of what they really did last night?
It's something different, something new, so I'm for it. I just want to see the end result, but I think my end result is a lot different than what they want their end result to be. Basically, I think they want to make Roman Reigns just this gigantic star over this and have... I mean, Roman Reigns has been built up as, a legit face, a face of the company, legit powerhouse. So... I mean, that would be his ultimate test, would be, can he be the one to beat Brock? So, they're all about creating new stars, and what better way to do it than with Roman doing that?
I think that match would suck. Roman and Brock.
I think it probably would too, but it's like Brock has to fight. It has to be like no rules.
Yeah.
Like, it can't be a wrestling match. I mean, even though last night was a wrestling match, you saw what it was, though. It was just Cena basically getting his ass kicked.
Yeah. I mean, Brock is a brawler, and I can see the comparison to Vader. The difference is Vader is a better pro wrestler than Brock is. Like, yeah. Brock is a more dominant brawler that makes it look like he seriously could just tear your head off. It literally looks like he could grab you by the hair and literally pull your head and spine out of your body. And Vader didn't have that big of a presence, I don't think. But I think Vader was more of an actual professional wrestler. To the last little bit about Brock is tonight the title belts are going to finally be formed on Raw. It's going to be just one title. I think Brock said that he doesn't want to hold two titles anymore. But this was going to happen anyways, because they're bringing out the new logo tonight. Everything WWE is now going to be the WWE Network logo. So it'll be interesting to see if the belt is exactly the same as that new belt that The Rock brought out, just with the new WWE logo, or if they're going to kind of combine a little bit of the big gold WCW NWA belt with the new WWE title as one title. So we'll see.
I think it's just all regular WWE, the new WWE logo.
I agree. I believe too.
I think they could care less about the WCW title.
Oh, I know they could care. They could care less about WCW anything. That's obvious.
Yeah. So they're not going to incorporate it into their WWE.
I don't believe so. Even though they should, because and maybe they shouldn't incorporate that belt. But I just always am a fan of a big title that looks like a world title. Like even the Globe World title, I thought was a great world title. The Eagle Wing title was a great world title. But since then, like I hated that the Undisputed.
You were a big fan of the Spinner title.
Yeah, huge fan. Not. Batista. You love Batista.
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to come back?
Oh, yeah, he'll be back. They're talking of having him fight at Night of Champions, but I really don't know who he would fight, unless they maybe did Batista versus Orton. If they're bringing back Batista as a face, but he can't be a face. He's got to be a heel. The fans will not accept him as a face. It's been proven.
Here's the thing, though, and I haven't seen the movie, but people loved him in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
People loved him. Like, people thought he was... I guess he played this kind of character of someone, like, killed his family. And so he's like, I'm a big dude, and I'm going to kill you, but he does stuff, like, funny. He does stuff, like, in a funny kind of way or something. And people would really have been praising the way that he actually acted, or just his presence in that movie. So I don't know. Maybe fans would get a second kind of look at him and be like, oh, he's not that bad of a dude.
I don't think so.
I mean, I would like him to be a heel because the fans hated him. Work on that. Talk about how much the fans hated him. Talk about how much you hate. I mean, but also he left against the Authority and Triple H. So if he comes back, there's going to be some kind of retribution, at least unless they want us to just forget that whole thing happened, which they've done before.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with him, but I mean, I think him versus Roman might be the Night of Champions match.
I think that'd be a really good match too. Well, I don't know if it'd be a really good match. I think that's a good way to bring him back.
Yeah.
And then a little bit of TNA news, which we don't talk about at all usually because the company is dying. And that's Bully Ray. Looks like he kind of had like a little backstage, not an interview, but he just kind of told everyone backstage that he was going to be done with the company. And I think what was it this past weekend may have been his last like scheduled commitments.
Yeah.
So. I guess that brings a speculation that his contract is done. It will be done, and he has a chance to just go back to WWE if they want that, and if they want Devon as well.
Yeah, I could see this definitely happening. I don't know how soon, but I can definitely see it happening. I could see something in time for Royal Rumble or WrestleMania.
Oh, that would be good for him just coming back for Royal Rumble. Obviously, he probably would not be coming back as Bully. He would be coming back as Bubba. And, I mean, obviously, if he's coming back, I would assume – I don't know the contract situation with Devon, but I would assume that they would be coming back together. I mean, I really don't think WWE has trust in him as a singles wrestler. They should, but I don't think they do.
Yeah, I could see him doing some good promos, like, against, like, some guys. It'd be really interesting to see.
I could too, but I mean the problem is they wouldn't bring him back as actual Bully. Like they would have to switch his name around or something, and they would repackage him to be that character, but to be different from that character because then because in their mind no one else has seen this ever in their life.
Yeah.
So, did you have anything for tonight's show though?
It should be interesting. I mean, it's pretty much just going to be a Brock suck fest.
How much do you think he's going to actually defend that title? Do you think it's going to be defended like monthly still?
No, I could see him maybe fighting at Survivor Series, but like I don't know. I don't know, man. That's tough. Like he's got commitments and dates, and he has limited numbers, and I mean, I really don't know how they're gonna do it. Like, I mean, honestly, I think we both agree that he will not lose the title until WrestleMania, if then. But it's like, when will he defend the damn thing?
Yeah, I mean, I like the thing where like people have to defend it every 30 days, but obviously with like Dean Ambrose's U.S. title, that didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't really know. It'll be interesting to see how they play it.
Because I know there's a lot of people that hate the part-time champion idea.
Yeah, I would like to see Batista come back tonight. I don't think you'll see John Cena tonight.
No, and I think that'd be smart to not see him tonight.
Yeah. I would like to see Batista tonight. I mean, obviously it's going to be a big Brock suck fest. We'll see what Nikki says, if it makes any sense. Probably won't.
You know what thinking, though, right now? I would be okay if John Cena closed the show tonight. And he came in and he planted the seed of maybe retirement or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Saying that, like, he is
take his ball and go home.
Yeah, and then maybe like takes his hat off and just puts it in the ring, and then just walks out.
That could be something interesting. Yeah,
I'd be okay with that if they did something like that. But I think if you're not going to do that, if you're just going to come out and then just have John Cena be like, I wasn't on top of my game, I'll be back. I'll come back stronger than ever next time. Then it's like, no, screw that. You got your butt whooped, kid. Go home. I am not a fan of $9.99 at all. I hate it to death. But if that's all it takes for someone that hates Cena to see this match, buy the network. Watch this match. I promise you'll never smile more.
How many tears do you think were shed last night?
So many. I haven't been on YouTube yet, but I would love to go on after we finish this up and see if people posted videos of their kids crying, because I guarantee you, kids actually probably thought that John Cena was dead last night.
Yeah, I liked how, like, right after the match, they all rushed the ring for him.
Yeah.
Like, it was like that Ivan Drago versus Apollo Creed moment.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I can't believe that I just came up with that on the fly, but the whole Batman versus Bane thing, like, really...
I thought about that last night, too.
Like, it really hits, like, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It goes together. They both go together so well.
So, yeah, that's why I said I would be okay with that because, but that's only if they keep Cena off for months.
Yeah.
Like, you have to keep him off for a solid 3 to 4 months.
They don't do this anymore, but I would love, like, little vignette videos of him. Like...
Yeah, I would too.
Like, of just, like... I don't know how they could do it. I'm sure they could come up with something, but, like, just something like that.
This is
just
WWE
like,
creative.
Yeah, like... Who knows? But they could really do some good stuff with it. I'm looking for a job, so if you guys want to hire me, I can write it.
Oh. Well, everyone, that's going to be it for us today. Make sure you watch Raw tonight. We'll be watching. We'll be back next Friday, and talking about what happened on Raw, and maybe a little bit more stories will pop up.
Yep, and we'll talk about how Heath Slater beat Brock Lesnar tonight for the world title.
Goodbye.